Does Antarctica hold a secret that will change our view of the world? There are rumors in certain circles that a small group of filthy rich billionaires are running a secret research project that makes us question our sanity. And for a very simple reason: at the South Pole there are sleeping things that are so disturbing that they must be hidden from the public at all costs. But what is the truth behind these crude claims? What's the story behind the strange missions already done in Antarctica that just don't make sense from the outside? Why did the pilot claim that he experienced something in this extremely cold extreme world that we only know from Jules Verne's classic novel? And above all, could it be that humans are not the only intelligent creatures to have stepped on permafrost? Antarctica is not only at the center of scientific research, but also at the target of scientific studies, let's say some alternative theories. Officially, the presence of people at the South Pole is justified by the enormous information potential of this frozen world. Here, for example, scientists extracted meter-long ice cores, which provide a deep understanding of the past of the Antarctic climate and at the same time enable more accurate modeling of future climate scenarios. But life is also a wise teacher for scientists in the largest icy desert on Earth. A few years ago, scientists discovered organisms sitting at a depth of 900 meters, and therefore something that was previously considered completely impossible. However, things have become a little less official based on adventure stories and rumors about the eternal ice. From man-made pyramids to hidden entrances that lead directly to the hollow Earth to alien bases, Antarctica is suspected in many ways of containing a shocking secret. But let's assume here that all these conflicting theories are ultimately true. So who really knows the truth and has direct access to these secrets? To understand this, we need to make a small detour into the world of statistics. At the end of 2022, 1.1% of the world's population owned just under 46% of the world's wealth. And true to the motto, money rules the Antarctic world, it is said to be a select group of filthy rich billionaires who rule the destinies amid endless icy landscapes and gigantic glaciers. Unfortunately, a quick look at our bank balance will quickly destroy our hopes of getting into that selection round. Instead, we should look for other ways to get to the bottom of the frozen truth. And indeed, after a little research, it's clear that there are things going on in Antarctica that will leave more than stubborn skeptics raising their eyebrows. ***312. Was this alien army beaten back? It all started rather vaguely in December 1946. The U.S. Navy decided to send a group of almost 5,000 soldiers and many ships to Antarctica. Officially, the purpose of Operation Highjump was to explore the southern part of the continent and the surrounding waters in more detail than before. However, the goal was also to test the suitability of the equipment of the Americans for the extreme conditions of the eternal ice. Overall, the mission was by far the largest military operation in this part of Antarctica and one of the largest South Pole expeditions of all time. As part of this, the participants took almost 70,000 aerial photographs, which were used to create new maps. Ultimately, however, Operation Highjump was prematurely terminated due to worsening weather conditions and further equipment damage. But not everyone is happy with this official explanation. After all, it was always quietly said that the aborted mission was actually something more than a panic flight. Specifically, the fleet was said to be engaged in a fierce battle that it simply could not win. But who or what could force the American soldiers to withdraw first? Well, it depends on which alternative camp you ask. For some, it is certain that the invasion of Antarctica was crushed by Hitler's Nazi hire. According to it, the brutal dictator allegedly did not take a bullet to the head in the Führerbunker in Berlin, but rather secretly fled to Antarctica in the confusion at the end of the war. And now that you think it can't get any crazier, listen up, because the other camp is convinced that Operation Highjump was anything but a human war. Worlds where our species finally got the short end of the stick. In other words, the US Navy has awakened a sleeping alien giant at the South Pole that apparently wasn't too interested in human visitors. At this point, however, a fundamental question arises. How on earth does such an idea even come to mind? Is there any evidence that makes this assumption more than just adventurous speculation? Well, not exactly. And yet, going on a military-sponsored research mission will at least make you sit up and take notice. Asterisk asterisk, 554. Asterisk asterisk. Despite all the intergalactic battles, Operation Highjump 2 was already on the starting blocks. In 1950, everything was ready. The crews were just waiting for the order to set sail and then received the unexpected news that the project would be abruptly cancelled a few weeks before the planned launch. Those in charge realized that the task was actually too expensive. Unofficially, they realized that the risk of another defeat on the battlefield was too great. Asterisk asterisk, 615. Asterisk asterisk. Will these impossible cards lead to a shocking truth? However, Edward Bransfield did not risk a historic defeat in 1820. On the contrary, when Bransfield became the first person to lay eyes on the Antarctic Peninsula, he achieved a historic victory. Well, that is certainly true if we follow traditional historiography. But men like Graham Hancock prefer slightly more unconventional approaches that aren't found in dusty textbooks. Basically, the British author and alternative researcher argues that an advanced high-tech culture existed long before our time, but was later erased from our collective historical memory. No wonder. After all, the civilization in question was completely destroyed in the devastating flood at the end of the last ice age. Well, almost at least. Asterisk asterisk, 706. Asterisk asterisk. According to Hancock, some people managed to survive the apocalypse and spread their superior knowledge to the rest of the world. But it also raises the question of historical evidence. The evidence, Hancock says, is abundant if we understand how to properly identify and interpret it. On the one hand, there are striking traditions of our ancestors. Because although the ancient cultures never formally met face to face, they all knew the same story about the omnivorous world flood that gave rise to the higher beings. Similarities of pyramidal structures scattered across the globe should also support a prehistoric civilization, as should maps showing Antarctica several centuries before it was first officially discovered. Asterisk asterisk, 756. Asterisk asterisk. And documents like the map of Pyre Reis, the records of Orontius Phineas, and the world map of Wald Seemuller do show ominous southern landmasses that are very similar to Antarctica. Probably without asking. However, these inconsistencies on paper also appear to have a huge catch. They were not compiled until the 16th century. How can early modern records be linked to people who died at the end of the last ice age 11,700 years ago? According to Hancock, the confusing Antarctic maps are simply based on significantly older sources that, you guessed it, come straight from the ranks of a mysterious ancestor culture. Consequently, later works scratch the surface of historical truth far more than we dare to dream. Asterisk asterisk, 856. Asterisk asterisk. But what really happens when we leave the surface and dive into the hidden world beneath Antarctica? Are Richard Byrd's reports authentic? Well, so we have a mysterious diary that the alternative camp is only too happy to cite, but which never officially existed. But be that as it may, the man who supposedly wrote those earth-shattering lines was named Richard Byrd. And of course, he wasn't just any guy, but the same admiral who led Operation Highjump. As part of the mission, Byrd is said to have experienced something that made even an encounter with a horde of aliens an enjoyable coffee party. Asterisk asterisk, 956. Asterisk asterisk. During a routine reconnaissance flight, Byrd's plane began to crash violently. But instead of crashing to the ground, the pilot ended up in a kind of cave that revealed something incredible, a lush forest with exotic plants and animals unlike anything known. However, the inhabitants Byrd allegedly encountered in the subterranean Antarctic were unlike any he had known. Fortunately, they did not immediately start attacking the newcomer, but invited him to admire the mysterious kingdom of Agartha with his own eyes. Finally, the strikingly large creatures surrounded by a blue-green glow led Byrd to their leader. In his later journal, the unexpected visitor referred to him only respectfully as Master, and also recorded a quick warning that Master gave him. ***, 1051. ***, the underground people tried several times to contact people, but because the overworld people always reacted aggressively and destroyed the sent flying machines, these attempts